Thank you very much. Next question.
Rachel Aiello, CTV News. Beyond forming government, what would tangible success look like for the NDP in this election?
Well, we want to elect more New Democrats because when it comes down to it, and I've seen this very clearly in my time at the federal level, whether it was the pandemic or the recent minority government, I can tell you with so much confidence, people are better off when you elect New Democrats.
Are you serious?
We fight for you, we stand up for you, and we deliver. Just 25 of us in the pandemic. We're 24 in the pandemic, 25 in the minority government. Just 25 and 24 of us. We were able to deliver real concrete help for people that made the difference between people putting food on the table or not during the pandemic. We were able to deliver dental care for millions of Canadians. We were able to deliver pharma care for millions of people. Woo! We were able to do this, and we fought for this. We fought hard for this. So when you elect a New Democrat, wherever you are, wherever you've been, and whoever you voted for before, if you elect a New Democrat, you're going to get someone that's going to fight for you. You're going to get someone that's going to wake up every single day and say, what can I do to help out everyday folks? Not who's going to try to help out the billionaires and the millionaires or the CEOs or big corporate landlords, but what can I do to help out everyday families in my community? And that's what you need. That's what New Democrats will do for you. So I ask you, in this election, ask yourself, who do you want fighting for you every day in Ottawa? I think the answer is very clear. New Democrats.
What?
And specifically looking at Quebec, you made a deliberate choice to come to Montreal first. Can you speak to why that is and what you think about the current electoral dynamic makes it possible for the NDP to pick up more than the one seat you have right now?
We made it a very clear point. I should probably do this in French too, but we made it a very clear point to choose Montreal on day one of the election. To launch our campaign, we wanted to be in Montreal. We wanted to be in Quebec. A big part of that is I got into politics to make a difference in people's lives. And I was really inspired by Jack Layton. And Jack Layton's dream was that New Democrats are not just the conscience of Parliament, but we actually form government to make people's lives better. We need to be in a position to make decisions that benefit everyday folks. And to continue that dream, we have to win seats in Quebec. We have to win seats in Montreal. And that's why it was so important to me to send that message. We need to win here. We want to win here. We care about the people of Quebec. We fought for you, and we've delivered for you. And we wanted to show that to form government, to continue Jack Layton's dream, we need to win in this city, we need to win in this province, and we're going to do that.
No, not this time. It's totally made up.
Next media.
Hi, Mr. Singh, David Thurton, CBC Radio. After this, we're going to be going to Toronto, taking the bus, not flying. How much sense does it make to be on a bus for 6 hours in a snowstorm when you're this far behind in the polls? How productive is that?
Well, we're waiting.
We want to be in Toronto, the next city. It's an important place. I was born in Toronto, got a love for Toronto. We're going to be spending time with Batila Carpoche in downtown Toronto. It's important for us to be there as well. And I want folks to know, wherever you are, whether you're in Toronto, whether you're in Montreal, East Coast, West Coast, North or South, you are better off when you've got a New Democrat fighting for you.
Was it you? No. You sure? If it was me, I'd admit it, buddy. Was it you or not?
I've seen this in the campaign. I've seen this in the minority governments. New Democrats fight for you. We're not out there trying to help a billionaire get richer. We're not trying to help corporate landlords. We're here for you. And so it's going to be very important for us to be in all major parts of the city and to let folks know that if you elect New Democrats, you're going to get a fighter that's in there for you. And we need your support. We need you to stand with us so that we can fight for you and we can take on the big challenges that we're up against.
Just as a follow-up, you've been speaking about Mark Carney and his involvement with Brookfield Investments. You seem to be suggesting that he has done something unethical during his time there. He joined Brookfield in 2020. He rose to the position of chair. Some of what you're alleging happened before he was there. So how fair is it to tie him to all the sins of Brookfield, the alleged sins of Brookfield, if he was only there for a couple years?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I mean, he was there for a significant part of time, and he was the chair of Brookfield. So, I mean, if he wants to brag about his record, he also has to accept his what he did when he was in those positions. It's clear that he's made decisions, and I don't fault him for making lots of money for the super rich, but for me, it's hard, and I ask people to ask this question. It's hard to imagine someone that was a part of a corporate landlord, like a massive corporate landlord in Canada, that profited off of the housing crisis. Like Brookfield engaged in rent evictions. Rent evictions, people in Montreal, people in Toronto, people in Vancouver know all too well what rent evictions are all about. You're in a place that's affordable, you get kicked out, that same apartment gets a new countertop and then goes back on the market for triple the rate. Sure, that makes a lot of money for the corporate landlord, but that contributed to the housing crisis. It profited off of the housing crisis. So I wonder, I mean, how can somebody who made money off the housing crisis be the guy that's going to fix the housing crisis? Like, I don't think that really makes sense. And he's also a part of a company that was found to be one of the biggest tax dodgers in our entire country. Brookfield, as a corporation, was one of the biggest tax avoiders, and he again was a chair of that. So this is his record, and I'm sure. I mean, he's good at making money for big corporations, but what did these corporations do? Rent evicted people, avoided paying taxes. That's not a track record of someone that's going to solve the problems we're up against. When we actually need to find ways to close the loopholes so that these big corporations don't avoid paying their fair share. We need to actually stop big corporations from ripping off people when it comes to their homes. And so I don't think that person that contributed to the problem can actually be a real solution to those problems. He's going to do what he's always done, which is make a lot of money for the super rich and hurt people in the process. And I think that's something that we should be worried about.
Last questions.
Jack Wilson, Montreal Gazette. Can you just break down for me why it is that you see a 1% tax cut on the lowest tax bracket as a tax cut for billionaires?
Because that tax cut, first of all, I should say low-income Canadians, middle-class Canadians need a tax cut, 100%. Times are tough, they need a break. But let me break down the math on this. That tax cut is going to give the exact same amount of money to someone earning $500,000 than it would give to someone earning $50,000. I don't think that makes much sense. Like, why would we give away the exact same amount of money to someone that earns $1 million and someone that earns $30,000?
What the hell are you talking about?
That's a nonsensical plan. Yeah, we need to give a tax break to the middle class, but let's give it just to the middle class, not to millionaires. And their plan doesn't distinguish. And that, I think, is a massive problem. I think most Canadians would agree. Don't you agree that we shouldn't be giving away the exact same amount of money to a millionaire versus a person earning a minimum wage salary? Yeah, obviously we shouldn't. And so that's the problem with this tax cut.
And my second question would be, the polls today, I think 338 Canada has you winning 8 seats total. Do you think your message is resonating with Canadians at this point in the campaign?
Well, we're on day 2, so we're starting off the campaign, and we're really excited about what we're saying.